We are Popcorn Piss and Vinegar, giving you a raw take on movies, television, and pop culture. My name's Chris.
I'm Scott from Earth 2.
I'm JB4 from Earth 1.
Yeah, so that's it. The PPV is full on multiverse.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
good stuff. So we decided to go old school because, you know, Scott is our child movie expert, and none of us went and saw any children's movies, and he saw all the children's movies. So
He did.
We didn't dig on all that. So we're kind of waiting.
And the trailers.
We're waiting till Spider-Man, and we're Spider-Man's I think going to be our next, which is kind of like our prepubescent boy movie. So we're gonna wait on that for the next show, and we're gonna cover that. And then I'm sure Comic-Con, we'll see what happens from there. So.
Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got Stranger Things that's going to release here on July 4th. So I don't know. I guess I'll see which one I like better, and we'll decide from there.
We can always stack shows.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll cover both.
Right.
And maybe do both.
Man, yeah.
Maybe do a bonus episode.
Better to have more material than none.
That is true.
Agreed.
But I kind of like, I don't know, man. How do y'all feel about the new format as far as talking about a singular thing and not making it all like ESPN newsworthy?
I like it.
I like it when there's something to talk about.
Maybe our listeners can give us their opinions as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, we'd appreciate if all 15 of you would jump over to PPVGuys. We'll put up a poll, and
there you go.
But I don't know,
yeah,
dude.
it's a good idea. A poll's a good idea.
Yeah, we put up the John Wick Frank Castle poll, and actually got some good play from that. So I'll go ahead and throw something up, and we'll see what you guys think. But we're going to go back old school, and we're going to talk about some news and notes here. So first one, we're going to jump out, and this is kind of like the sleeper of the summer. What's pretty crazy is quietly Aladdin has crossed $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
And it is now Will Smith's highest grossing movie of all time.
Right. He actually posted on social media about that. Really honored. Thanks, guys. It's humbling. Blah, blah, blah. You know.
I'll be honest with you. I took my kid to see it, and I mean, for it being a family movie, it was a decent family movie.
It's all right. Yeah.
I mean, it looked really pretty. I was really surprised that Guy Ritchie. I'm so used to seeing shit like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and Sherlock Holmes, and that kind of stuff.
You could see some of his action.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I quite enjoyed his King Arthur movie. I'm probably one in the minority.
Dude, I loved it.
So did I.
I loved
it. I'm pleased to hear that he's got a win under his belt so he can do crazier shit, you know?
Dude.
At least to get another shot at it.
That fucking scene in that... First of all, the soundtrack in that Arthur movie is the shit. And another thing about that Arthur movie is when he goes fucking like God kill mode when he gets the sword is fucking
awesome.
Retarded, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
That shit's sick.
Back to Aladdin, I thought Will Smith was good in this film.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Was the CGI acceptable?
It was acceptable. It was better than we saw in the trailer.
Okay, good.
I think the CGI is exactly what I expected it to be. It didn't really have to be good. It looked cartoony.
True.
I mean, the stuff that was supposed to look good looked good. The stuff that he did, I mean, it's the whole thing with Will Smith. I mean, he's doing Robin Williams thing and kind of...
But he did good.
But he did well. I mean,
it was
all
filled
right.
the shoes as expected.
I know there's a lot of people that are kind of like on him. I'm kind of indifferent. I mean, if
Did you guys laugh?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, there's some stuff I laughed at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a solid Disney movie. There have been worse.
You know what this tells me?
Dumbo.
This tells me that Lion King and definitely Frozen 2 are going to make serious bank.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, that's staying the thing now with Lion King is the same thing they said with Toy Story. They said that Toy Story is going to underperform. It didn't really underperform. Now, it did underperform compared to the first three, but it's still making some good money.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna, but I mean Chris said this maybe 20 times since we've talked about Toy Story 4. We don't need it. And after seeing it, I agree.
You know
we didn't need it.
What's super interesting? I actually saw one of these YouTube analytical pieces, and they were saying that Toy Story 1, if they rendered that film, if they rendered those files now, it would take less time than the runtime of the film.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that.
Just because, I mean, if you remember the dog was not furry, you know what I mean? But it's still a magical movie.
Chris, you saw Toy Story 4?
No, I didn't see it.
Let me say this. As much as I just said it, we didn't need it. it looks really good. Like, they look like three-dimensional toys.
This is everything
That's
that
awesome.
I've heard. Everybody says the movie. I read several reviewers said the same thing. They said, even though it is a pretty unnecessary movie from the, from the standpoint of the franchise, the deal with it is that it's still better than a lot of animated movies that you see out there. I mean, as far as like the heart and the characters and the story and that stuff, I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me that Disney blew out full-on nostalgia, and Toy Story, it's kind of like, well, we got Star Wars and we got this and we got that and here's this one, and they're basically revisiting all their franchises to do it one more time, which is fine. That's their prerogative.
They'll rule this year. 2019 is their year.
Without question. Yeah, I mean, they're going to make stupid money. And not only in movies. It's everything.
Everything.
It's going to be those theme parks. It's going to be the streaming. The streaming, everything. This is going to be a huge year.
Yeah.
And all those people that own Fox that are going to seriously benefit from that Disney stock, from that Disney ownership. Yeah, they're going to make some hefty dividends on that deal.
Yeah.
So, hey, there it is.
Well, yeah.
Alrighty, so moving right along, the Jumanji trailer, they released that today, didn't they?
Yes.
So, I mean...
Tell us about it, Scott.
Yeah, you give us your take on the Jumanji. I mean...
Did y'all see the first film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw the first film, and I was actually shocked that I enjoyed it, because I really went into it, like, just doing it to do it. Enjoyed the film, saw the trailer today, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I liked the swap with Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. I thought that was funny. I thought that was an interesting twist. And The Rock trying to play Danny DeVito was funny.
See, that's the thing, and it's a criticism from a movie earlier this year, Shazam. They said that one of the criticisms of that movie is the fact that Zachary Levi, really there's a lot of separation in the acting between him and the kid. Now, I didn't see Shazam. They said that Shazam was heavily influenced by Big. One of the things that made Big work so well was that when you saw the little kid and you saw Tom Hanks, you really was believable.
Right.
That believability was not there for Shazam, from what I heard.
Yeah, the kid was very emo and dark. And then as soon as he went Shazam, he was like, essentially, he was essentially like Tom Hanks in Big.
Right.
Silly and goofy.
Yeah, and I think in this movie, I don't know, it's going to be really interesting. Will Kevin Hart and The Rock be able to pull off convincing? Because, I mean, really, honestly, you're impersonating Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. I mean, that's what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, if they pull that off, I think the movie will work pretty well. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the kids from the first movie,
and we don't know what happens to two of them.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really hoping that I find that kind of in a way disappointing. I want to see the further adventure of these kids. I really don't.
We might. Like I said, there's two kids missing.
Right.
That start the trailer but don't end the trailer. So who knows? They're just not giving it. They're following my lead, not giving everything away.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll see.
No wonder you like it.
So we'll see what happens, I mean, I can tell you, will I watch Jumanji 2? Yes. Am I going to go see it at the theater? Most likely not.
No.
That's going to be a red box rental there.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's all that bullshit. And speaking of The Rock, he is rumored to be maybe playing The Thing in Fantastic Four.
I read that.
I did too.
So some people are actually saying that this is a way.
Casting. I mean,
well, some people are saying that this rumor is actually kind of created by The Rock's people so he can get Marvel's attention. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's what. There's some of that flying around. So, but I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Again, it would be a good choice.
I don't
know. I don't know.
I
usually go to bat.
Chiklis.
I go to bat for The Rock. So, but I don't think this is a good choice.
I was listening to an idea by listening over to Fat Man Beyond, which is Mark Bernardin and Kevin Smith, and they had
Great show.
They had a guy came in, guy came out and asked a question. They have like a Q&A with their audience at the end, and the guy, one of the questions to both Kevin Smith and Mark was, what would you do to integrate the Fantastic Four into
Marvel
the
universe.
MCU. And I like what Bernardin's take was, even though it's already been done twice with Captain Marvel and Captain America both. He said what he would do is they would be lost astronauts from the 1960s.
Oh,
and
wow.
what happens is they come back, and now they have to cope with being the man out of time.
Why not?
So
I mean,
Captain
Marvel,
America.
they've done that with Captain America.
Sure, but
I think that's my issue with it. You know, but I mean, it's pretty. I mean, if you wanted to kind of keep that to it, I mean, and of course they said that also that would allow them to do the whole thing with Krasinski and Emily Blunt and all that.
Okay.
So,
Right. Plus, which a lot of the signature like sayings, a lot of their dialogue is contextualized that way. You know, clobbering time seems just almost anachronistic now.
It worked
you know?
for those guys. I don't mind it. You know, follow. They're good at the formula. Take the formula, take what works, and do it again. And so why not? It worked. And this time you'll have 4.
I think my take, I mean, seeing the Fantastic Four, there was another rumor that was flying around that they said that Marvel was more interested in doing a Silver Surfer movie before they do a Fantastic Four movie, which I think is great. I think that's a great idea. They've already established the whole Guardians of the Galaxy cosmic universe. Man, go experiment with that more. You know, I mean, go experiment with that more. That cosmic universe is massive. We've only seen what Guardians of the Galaxy has given us. You know, there might be some whole other things that you could kind of venture out and explore, and I think it'd be cool, especially, I mean, I think it would be cool, the whole thing with Galactus and all of that stuff, but I think that you have to introduce him and then hold on to him for a long time.
Yeah.
What would kind of be nice is if they end up retiring Guardians and having the Fantastic Four take their place.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that kind of makes the most sense. You know, I mean, especially with the Fantastic Four, with the whole thing with the negative zone and the cosmic play that they have and all of that shit. I mean, they're perfect for that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's any guess as to what they're going to do. I think Marvel is going to be very much like this. They're going to surprise us. I remember when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, fucking seriously?
Right.
That they're going to do? I mean, you have all of these like top line heroes, and then they threw that and blew everybody's socks off.
Isn't there, like, aren't they doing some really obscure Marvel hero I never even heard of? That Kang guy, this martial artist.
Oh, Shang-Chi? Yeah.
Shang-Chi, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, they're talking about doing that as a
I
movie.
never even heard of that.
Yeah.
Dude.
That, I mean, they're also talking about the Eternals. You know, I mean, they're talking about that as a.
I feel like the Eternals might be probably what they're going to replace Guardians with.
Yeah, I think that's gonna, and I think that they're gonna use that as kind of like, and for what my understanding is, the Eternals is like a prequel.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like it's in like a mega prequel, like hundreds of years before the MCU.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be like they're basically like cosmic architects is what they're what's gonna deal with them. So yeah, I mean. I don't know, man. The sky's the limit. You know, the question with it is that can they catch lightning in a bottle twice? You know, I mean, 23 movies, and they put together a very impressive story. Can they continue it on?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've captured lightning in a bottle like at least 16 times of the 23. You know?
Right.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be like anything. They're going to stick with their formula until people get tired of it, and then they're going to try something new and inventive and all that stuff, and we'll see, you know. And then I think Marvel will be around for they'll be around for a good while, but I think eventually it'll happen to where it's going to get like westerns, man. You know, I mean, eventually everybody got tired of watching westerns. There was so many of them. You know, I think that it's just going to kind of dominate the landscape, and people are just going to get tired of superheroes. And
they can always back off the theatrical stuff and stick to streaming and see what
works. Oh,
works.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always that option as well. Also, I mean, another comic book property. John, one of your favorites. Yes. I mean, Sandman coming to Netflix, which is actually quite surprising because...
Not really, but go on.
I mean... I'm surprised that they're going to bring this to Netflix because Warner, to me, is the one that is most poised to take on Disney as far as a streaming service. I mean, Netflix, dude, Sandman is legendary comic book property.
It is.
And, I mean, shocked that would actually they would port that to Netflix. I find that very surprising.
Is that a tell?
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're like, let's test this out, and if this explodes, we'll just
you got to think that Netflix doesn't have. I mean, they got to have their thumb on the pulse too. They're not just looking at this.
Yeah, dude.
So if they do Sandman, they're going to be like, sure, you can do it. We want this many episodes, and we want this many, and if you want to buy it out or buy it back, it's going to cost this, but we get these. I'm sure they have a plan in place, especially with the Disney situation, that any other property that comes in, they have an insurance policy on every single television show that comes in that's not their own.
I think Netflix is just going to become the Warner Network. I
don't think that.
I do.
I think there's something there, but
I think it's an audition.
Here's the only
that's
thing.
That's the AT&T network. Remember,
exactly. That's the only thing that throws that off for me, because I mean they've already got a streaming version of DirecTV. So they don't really need Warner. They've got the infrastructure. They don't need Netflix. They've already got the infrastructure.
And they have HBO.
Yeah, and they got a lot of shit.
They have a direct competitor with Netflix.
They do, but let's not also forget that Swamp Thing somehow is like mud on their face in terms of they nailed it. It was a great show,
it was on
and yet
DC
somehow
streaming.
But
show.
that's on.
No, it became a DC streaming show, right? Like
See,
it was
that
on
DC Direct shit, I think that they're going to kind of temporarily, that's going to stay on temporarily, and then eventually what's going to end up happening is they're going to collapse the entire Warner package into one thing.
Correct.
Like Disney's doing. The only thing that won't be part of that package is HBO. I think HBO is going to remain with its autonomy. And that's the other thing, too, is what stops AT&T or Warner rather from coming in and saying, well, we're already playing all of our back catalog on Amazon. Fuck Amazon. Just take it from them.
Yeah.
And we'll play the back catalog, HBO back catalog on the AT&T service. So, yeah, you won't be able to watch shit like Game of Thrones, even though Game of Thrones will be on it eventually.
Right.
But all that bullshit, like Westworld, you won't get that, or any of their new shit. But, dude, if you want to go back and watch shit like Deadwood, Rome, The Sopranos, you can catch all that shit on Amazon.
Or maybe they just leave it on HBO and they force, hey, you need to pay us $15 a month extra to get this HBO stuff, and we'll have this Warner stuff over here.
Yeah. I don't think that the HBO, I don't even think that, I think it will remain as a separate thing. I mean, it's one thing that HBO has on a leg up is that, HBO has historically been associated with cable, but people realize that they're paying the same thing. They've always looked at it as an extra. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem, is that I don't think the average consumer is designed to aggregate all the channels. They need a central place to go, by way of television, and that's what cable's done. I feel like as they try and splinter off into online, at a certain point there's going to be a big fall off. Like already I'm just sort of like, what do I have fucking CBS for?
But
I don't even like Twilight Zone that much.
Right. I mean, but you're talking about it being a one-stop shop. I mean, in a way you've already get that. Like my Amazon Fire Stick, all I do is go to search and I type in what I want to watch and it tells me where to go. It tells me every venue that it's available on. Okay, you can watch this on Netflix, or you can watch this on Hulu, or you can watch this on a service you may not have. What it comes down to is that everybody's used to paying one thing. The fucking cable companies enslaved the shit out of everybody for a long time. People finally felt that they've been able to break free from that with this streaming thing, but it's all going to be the same crap. It's going to be the same thing all over again. But here's the good news. It's going to be cheaper. If you buy all these services, it's still cheaper than cable. Still cheaper. So, I mean, people eventually, look, you're going to have your one guy that comes in there and says, TV, everything. I need it all. I need all that stuff. But I think that the average monthly subscriber, I think, is down to paying probably about $110 a month. You figure $60 for your internet, $50 for your services, and they'll look at their $50 and spend it accordingly. That's what I believe. You know, I'm just guessing that. I don't have any market research, but I know I'm good for about $110. That's about what I spend. So
fair enough.
So there it is. And on that, I mean, didn't they just announce Paramount? They're launching theirs, aren't they?
I didn't hear that.
Didn't you send a text out? It was either NBC or Paramount or one of them. You sent a text last week that said there was going to be another one that launched.
No, it's Warner. Warner's going to be launching.
Okay, so
what was that? That was
no, that wasn't Warner, dude. I think that was another one.
They were pulling the NBC stuff. It was going to be an NBC It's Universal.
There you go.
Universal is launching theirs in the fall. So they pull all their NBC stuff off of everything else so that they can have it, which means all that stuff that's on Hulu, goodbye.
Yeah, right. I mean, unless, of course, Hulu's going to cut a deal with them, you know?
All right. Yeah, could be. But I'm just saying it's a lot of options.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here looking right now. What are kind of like, you know, what are Universal's big time franchises here? I mean, dude, they got DreamWorks Animation. They got. So I mean, with that falls Shrek, Secret Life of Pets,
Dragons,
Illumination. Yeah, the Dragons. I mean, I'm just going to rattle them off. Some of these may be good. Some of them may. Look, I'm not sitting here to critique them. I'm just telling you, just for name recognition. American Pie, Back to the Future, Battlestar Galactica, Jason Bourne, Child's Play, Dumb and Dumber, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Fast and the Furious, the Hellboy movies, Jaws, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park's
dude, you got the Universal Classic Monsters. You got all that shit.
Men in Black.
Yeah, I mean, all that crap plays into that. So, I mean...
And NBC.
Right, so...
And USA.
Everybody is going to be in the game eventually. That's pretty much what it is. So that's what we all have to come to grips with. You know,
it's going to be down to antenna television again.
Well, I think antenna television's still going to play. It's going to play its part. You know, I mean, it's going to do its thing to get you locals and
this
shit.
This obviously won't be relevant, but Amazon put their Fire boxes, their Fire DVR boxes on sale. It's you can record ABC, you can record the big guys and like PBS and the CW over the air, just like a DVR.
Yeah.
No service fee, no monthly charge. You just record. So like all these.
Yeah, but you have to have an antenna to receive it to your TV, right?
$30 antenna, $100 box.
Unless you live in my house, you know.
So it's like TiVo.
Antennas don't work.
It is TiVo, correct? It's just TiVo, and you record your shows, and you get.
And that just goes to show you, and there's
one-time fee,
and there's markets for shit. You know, that's the thing. It's all the markets. Like the same thing with the antenna. You know, it's only a $30 antenna. Yeah, but dude, you got to spend the $30 to get the fucking antenna they made in China for fucking 10 cents. You know, to get the TVs, and it's all in what level you want to play. And goddamn, this is a fucking long way around to talk about Sandman.
Right.
So I was wondering, yeah.
So anyway, I mean, look, right back to Sandman. Talking about it going to Netflix. I mean, all the sexiness of the background shit. The thing with it is, I mean, do they have enough money to make this show on streaming?
Well, with Warner going in with them, I feel like.
But I did read something today that Netflix is starting to pull back on some of their big blockbuster movies, so they're not going to be pumping the billions into what they were doing before. So they might need a little.
Yeah, well, because I mean,
a little handshake.
It's not sustainable. That's the problem. Right. You know,
Bright, like movies like that.
Yeah, you know, movies like that. The Sandra Bullock movie, the Ben Affleck movie, the George Clooney movie. Like there are some big names in those movies. True. Unfortunately, they're not the greatest movies ever.
Well, I think the thing with it is that some of them. I don't know. Bird Box was huge. I mean,
it was huge.
It was
market-wise, it was huge. But I heard a lot of people shit on it. You being one of them.
Oh yeah, I fucking hated it. But
that doesn't help anything.
And I mean, that's the other thing too. Is I mean, yeah, it comes down to the same old thing. Do you spend these billions? I mean, where is the? I mean, you spend. It seems to me you're spending a lot of money for just continued revenue.
I think that one. Ancillary to this, the Adam Sandler movie did really, really well, apparently. Comedies are cheaper to make.
Yeah, yep, as are horror movies.
So I think that's probably, I think that's the direction they're going to go in, and it would be wise to do so.
I haven't canceled yet, so I'm
Me
still in.
neither.
No, I mean, I'll stick
Stranger
with
Things, baby.
Yeah, honestly, Stranger Things. That's really at this point what I'm really on it for. I mean, I'm hoping Stranger Things is good because I sit there, man. I'm watching more shit on Hulu and more stuff on Amazon now than I'm watching on Netflix.
Are you?
Yeah, because I mean, just watching old school shit.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I gotta agree with Chris. I mean, I'm kind of still watching because I don't have anything, so it's kind of like Netflix. But the other day I was watching just old, like looking for an old movie to watch. Watched what you call it, Grosse Point Blank, for no reason because I didn't feel like watching anything else, and it was.
And it comes down to the same old thing. If you're really bothered about, I mean, like it's like old HBO. It comes down to the point to where Netflix has to pound on like some really good programming because like right now, after Stranger Things is done, then I start having the conversation with myself. Okay, well look, after I've watched Stranger Things, I'm obviously going to move over to Dark and I'm going to check that out. Mm-hmm. And then after I check all that stuff out, I've done Black Mirror. I've been there. Mm-hmm. So my question is that what really comes down the pipe for me to continue to spend the $13 a month?
I'm 100% with you.
So when something else comes back around, then I'll go and back, especially if I'm not any under contract.
Dude, and you know what else I've been doing? I just been like picking up the Marvel stuff here and there. Like I'll watch Thor again or maybe watch Infinity War. Once those are gone, I'm not going to have my fallbacks.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do unless Netflix drops something good because like I've been watching Amazon and Hulu, whatever. So I don't know.
Yep. So I mean that's and this will be something that kind of continues. I think it's something that people will grow in, and I think that they're counting on this also. Is that it is the race to create must-watch TV.
Well, and what we're not factoring in here is once the Disney network is up and running, how much of my time is going to be on that network. Right. And then if I'm not watching Netflix as often, maybe I'll be like, I'm going to shut it down for 6 months.
Sure.
And then,
because you know what the best thing about that is? You can. Whereas if you're in a contract, you can't.
Yeah, right. And the other and like the other thing with the Disney show, like I mean, it's pretty brilliant because the thing with it is they're going back to the way we used to watch TV. I'm all in on The Mandalorian. So the thing with it is when The Mandalorian drops, it only comes on Thursdays. That's when you're available for a new episode.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're not. It is a weekly series. They're not dropping all 10 episodes at once.
But you can go back and watch.
Oh yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Like I mean, once they drop the episode, once if they come out and they say, okay, The Mandalorian's out now, it's out in the world. You can go back and rewatch it all you want. But the thing with it is that when you're waiting, it's not like I can sit there and I'm like, Mandalorian, baby, I've been ready for this shit. I'm just going to shut myself in a room for 10 hours and just binge watch it.
HBO's model is that too. So
and you never know as time goes on.
And you don't want spoilers.
Yeah, dude, as time goes on, as time does, maybe it goes back to that to try to create some anticipation. To sit there,
so.
Well, you hope so, but the thing with it is that's how they hold your ass on the line to keep paying that money.
Well, I've always said this, and I don't want to beat it, but I've always liked watching a show, especially with you guys, and then talking it out for a week.
Yeah.
And then watching to see what comes on next. You don't get that with a binge. You don't get the water cooler talk.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So The Mandalorian will be definite water cooler catnip.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think the Sandman will is also, which we keep getting away from it. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious to see who they cast, and on top of it also is I'm really curious to see. I mean, you're talking about a lot of like some serious imagery that's in those comics. So I'm curious to see how they're actually going to approach it. But I mean, hey, look, Neil Gaiman's executive producer and full on board. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Joseph Gordon-Levitt tried to get it off the ground as 3 movies, and by the end of it, he walked away saying, "I think that a television series event is far more suited for it."
Yeah.
So there's part of me that I would love to see him as Morpheus. He probably won't be, but he'd be a good one.
Yeah, I think he'd be good. I know everybody wanted Benedict Cumberbatch, and honestly, even though I was for a long time being like, God, man, that dude's casting everything. But geez, he's awesome for that.
He'd be great.
He would be fantastic. I mean,
who would you cast as
perfect
Death?
Casting. Boy, man, fuck. I really, man.
You have to think about that.
You caught me on the spot with that, but
yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, there's a lot of options, but
Carl Urban. That's who I
There
would
you
cast.
go.
Yeah, Carl Urban. So
Perfect.
all right, so here's our last one here, and this is I'm still kind of iffy on this, but I see where they're going. Actress Victoria Pedretti, she played Nellie Crane, who was the bent neck woman on The Haunting of Hill House.
Right.
She is returning to The Haunting of Bly Manor, but not as the bent neck woman. They said they are going on full on American Horror Story, where it's going to be unrelated story seasons with returning actors playing different roles.
Got it.
So I'm with you. That's
I
my
don't know how to
exact.
feel about that either.
That's my exact reaction.
Isn't her husband or her husband's the showrunner with that?
I mean, it might have something to do with
No.
No. That's right.
The other
sister.
the clairvoyant sister.
Correct.
Was
I'm sorry.
is the
I'm
one
sorry.
that's this one plays the bent neck
neck
sister.
Okay.
Bent neck lady. So
All right. Well, whatever. I'll watch it.
I'll watch it, but I don't. I like what American Horror Story did, but I don't necessarily know that I want it for this show.
yeah, I honestly think that Haunting of Hill House is probably one of the best horror movies that I've ever seen.
Correct.
And it was so well done and so perfectly executed. I was like, man, can there be a perfect single season of television? Can there be? I mean,
Right.
without intentions, like Heroes. Remember that show Heroes?
Season 1.
Yes.
Season 1. I wish that I could walk up to everyone who created that show and just fucking just wipe them out. Just be like, hey, look, you motherfuckers, not kill them, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Wipe out their shit. Say, look, dude, I'm taking away your toys. I'm taking away your funding. I'm taking away shit. Leave Heroes Season 1 the way it is. Do not make any more. Leave it as a perfect season of television. And that's what I think is with Haunting of Hill House. I just don't want to see them
I thought
do anything
Westworld
else.
was like that too, Season 1. Even though I enjoyed Season 2, I thought Season 1 was a perfect season.
Yeah.
The end.
The nice thing about it is if season 2 is a shit show, it's a lot like True Detective. It doesn't affect season 1's story at all.
And that's a fair
Self-contained.
point.
Hopefully.
That's a fair point.
We haven't seen it yet, so hopefully.
Is there True Detective Season 3? Has that come out?
Yes.
It has, yeah, and apparently it's quite
good. Did you guys
good.
watch it or?
Haven't.
I
I've
haven't
heard good things, but
Yeah.
I heard it's as good as 1, and there are callbacks to 1, but 1 is the shit.
Yeah,
Always.
one is the
right,
gold
right.
standard.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. You know, it's like The Empire Strikes Back. It's the gold standard of that franchise.
Yeah, it is.
You know, there's other movies that are good. There's other
Yeah.
ones that are not so good and downright shitty. But yeah, so
Yeah.
there it is. All right, man. Well, I think that about covers it.
Hey, I saw a few movies. I saw. You already did Toy Story, so we did that.
All right.
I saw Yesterday. That
Oh, the Beatles movie. How was
movie.
that?
It's a great love letter to the Beatles.
Right.
It's-
As we expected, yeah.
Music's good, obviously. The story jumps right into it. It's good. It's funny. Gets to the point.
And that was directed by Danny Boyle, who is responsible for Slumdog Millionaire and
28
Train
Days
Spotting.
Later,
28
Train
Days
Spotting,
Later.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a well done movie.
Yeah, he's a pretty monumental talent. I was really kind of pissed off that Bond didn't work out for him. I really wanted to see a Danny Boyle James Bond movie.
I would have loved that.
So that's that. What else did you see?
I saw Men in Black International. I told you that.
I heard that was a fucking unbridled mess.
It's a terrible movie. Don't
Yeah.
go see it.
Okay.
Toy Story. I told you I saw. That's
Yep.
about it.
Unnecessary.
I'm going to see Spider-Man.
Yep, I'm going to be seeing Spider-Man
Yeah, I'll
also.
be seeing that too, of course.
I'll be looking forward to that. So
Love it.
Our epilogue to Endgame and the official ending
Yeah.
of the phases of Marvel. So
Watch Dark on Netflix. I can tell you that.
yeah, watch Dark and our next show I think we'll do we'll either do Spider-Man or Stranger Things or maybe
Cool.
both. So we'll see what happens. We'll discuss during the week and see what everybody can get to.
Righteous.
Yep, I have a baby arriving at any moment, so we have to see what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
you might have a lot of time to watch TV then.
Watching
Yeah,
TV,
TV.
yeah, but I'm not gonna have time to go see movies
No,
at
no,
all.
no,
So, you know,
No, indeed.
unless I can go get the fake plastic tit thing, you know, and show up at the theater and nurse, you know, while
Hey,
I'm,
put it
while
this
I'm
way.
watching fucking
Man Marie
Spider-Man.
Let me
Glenn?
tell you
Yeah,
how we've come, like how bad the theater experience is. I went and saw yesterday. God, what is the ginger?
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran is in that film. Not a spoiler. He's in the film. He's in the commercial.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And as soon as the main character says, "Oh, Ed Sheeran, hey, I can't believe you're here."
Oh, so he plays himself.
He plays himself, yeah. I hear in the back of the theater Siri say, "Showing you images of Ed Sheeran." Like, this woman had no idea who Ed Sheeran was and had to look him up on the internet. Like, okay, you maybe need to not be in this film.
So you can't do that after the fucking movie's over?
Right.
I would have thrown a fucking popcorn at her head.
Oh, my God.
What an asshole.
Right, and she asked fucking Siri. Didn't
right,
even just punch it in.
No, right.
I'm dead serious, dude. If AMC came to me and they said, AMC now delivers movies directly to your house for $100, I will gladly pay it.
Hey, so
I would pay it in a heartbeat.
That's the other thing. I've been to a lot of movies, and I hope you are listening, AMC, because really just clean up the theater some. Make the experience a little better.
That's the whole thing. They spent all of this money to try to create all of this different stuff, and the thing with it is
even Dolby. And I'm only seeing movies in Dolby, and even that's kind of a
theater.
A shit show.
It is a fucking dump.
Shit.
They just don't care.
That's
dump.
disappointing.
Yep. So that's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like George Carlin says, I'm glad the water sucks. I'm a big Entropy fan. So that's it. That's it. I'm glad AMC sucks. It'd be quicker that hopefully they'll show movies directly to my fucking TV in the privacy of my own home.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Well, then it's not popcorn, piss, and vinegar anymore, right?
Oh, shit, dude.
I'll eat popcorn at home.
I will pop the popcorn, and not only will I pop the popcorn, I'll piss on myself from being so happy that I get to watch that shit at my house.
Yep.
Piss means joy now.
Piss with glee.
I'll drink a little vinegar just to whatever.
Yeah, just throw it on.
Stay healthy.
Look, throw it on
some
some cucumbers to wash down the popcorn. So there it is. All right. So I had enough of this shit.
Right.
So anyway, look,
fired up.
We appreciate you guys listening. Jump over to the Facebook group, the PPV Guys group. You can join over there. Just ask for an invite. We'll definitely accept you along. You can check us out on YouTube. You can also check us out on iTunes. Please leave us a review, 5 stars. Say something nice. We'd certainly appreciate it. It moves us up the rankings. Thanks for listening and scene.